Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Donald Trump's press conference. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. About 250 reporters faced the president-elect in New York City today, and many major points were made. So let's run them down for you. The issue of fake news, fabricated reports about Donald Trump and other public figures was front and center. The issue began yesterday when BuzzFeed, an internet site, released a so-called report that attacked Donald Trump in a very personal way and also implied that his campaign had secret dealings with Russia. There was no evidence put forth in those assertions. Most news organizations, including Fox, stayed away. But earlier, CNN did pick up the general thread of the story, and that angered Mr. Trump. He was also agitated that U.S. intelligence agencies in the past have leaked stuff.
I think it's a disgrace. And I say that, and that's something that Nazi Germany would have done and did do. I think it's a disgrace. That information that was false and fake and never happened got released to the public. As far as BuzzFeed, which is a failing pile of garbage, writing it, I think they're going to suffer the consequences. They already are. And as far as CNN going out of their way to build it up.
A few minutes later, a CNN reporter tried to ask Mr. Trump a question.
Go ahead. No, Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization.
You are attacking our news organization.
Your organization.
Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir,
quiet.
Can you state,
quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state
she's asking a question. Don't be rude.
Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
CNN has issued a statement saying, quote, CNN's decision to publish carefully sourced reporting about the operations of our government is vastly different than BuzzFeed's decision to publish unsubstantiated memos. That statement continues, but you get the idea. The press and Donald Trump will be an ongoing soap opera. There's no doubt about it. As for policy, the national media is still very interested in the Russian hacking deal, so Mr. Trump addressed it.
The Democratic National Committee was totally open to be hacked. They did a very poor job. They could have had hacking defense, which we had. And I will give Reince Priebus credit, because when Reince saw what was happening in the world and with this country, he went out and went to various firms and ordered a very, very strong hacking defense.
So it seems Mr. Trump is acknowledging that Russia did hack into the DNC. Also, ABC News asked Mr. Trump about Putin.
If Putin likes Donald Trump, I consider that an asset, not a liability, because we have a horrible relationship with Russia. Now, I don't know that I'm going to get along with Vladimir Putin. I hope I do, but there's a good chance I won't. And if I don't, do you honestly believe that Hillary would be tougher on Putin than me? Does anybody in this room really believe that?
Then it was on to Obamacare, which, as we reported last night, is toast.
We're going to do repeal and replace, very complicated stuff. And we're going to get a health bill passed. We're going to get health care taken care of in this country. You have deductibles that are so high.
What the Republicans propose in place of Obamacare will, of course, be a major story. Now, much of the press conference dealt with Donald Trump's business dealings. He's putting a lot of stuff in trusts and handing operations of his company over to his two sons. Lou Dobbs will have some thoughts on that coming up. But then I got back to the Trump controversies front and center, the wall on the southern border.
Mexico, in some form, and there are many different forms, will reimburse us, and they will reimburse us for the cost of the wall. That will happen. Whether it's a tax or whether it's a payment, probably less likely that it's a payment, but it will happen.
Mr. Trump says he will begin building the wall shortly after he takes office on January 20th. Mexico also got more bad news because the president-elect once again said he's going to institute a so-called border tax, which would punish American companies operating in Mexico and other countries who try to ship their products back to the USA.
There will be a major border tax on these companies that are leaving and getting away with murder. And if our politicians had what it takes, they would have done this years ago, and you'd have millions more workers right now.
So all in all, there was a lot of substance in the press conference today. Mr. Trump's demeanor was direct. I saw no difference in him than when he was campaigning. He stated his case with authority. He was blunt, continues to say he'll do what he promised to do. As for the press, they're still fixated on the election. There's no question in my mind that the hunt, and that's what it is, a hunt, for a Trump-Russia connection during the campaign remains very intense and active. Some in the national media wanting to delegitimize the vote. At this point, that's the only way they can do it, linking the Trump campaign to Putin. Summing up, Donald Trump helped himself today, but he better watch his back. Not since Richard Nixon has the National Press Corps been so determined to bring someone down. And that's a memo.